Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here today. Today is the 20th of May, 2024, a Monday. Thank you for tuning in. There's an awful lot going on out there in the world. One of the big stories out there is you guys all recognize this man, or at least a lot of people who check in on world politics recognize this man. This is the president of Iran, Razi. He had a helicopter crash. This happened, I guess, suddenly. It says the death of Iranian President Razi in a helicopter crash in northern Iran has shaken the world and led to wide speculation about the circumstances. Why there's so much speculation right now about the circumstances is because this is kind of wartime right now. And you know, during peacetime, if a helicopter or an airplane crashes or whatever, people don't question it so much. But during wartime, they start to question it. It says the search team spent the day combing the area amid thick fog and icy weather. Well, there's the thing. Thick fog. It says no survivors were found. Now, says what caused the crash. Says Iranians have not yet said what caused the crash, according to the Associated Press. It says bad weather may have played a role. I guess nobody knows really right at this point what caused the crash. But, you know, there is suspicion out there. There always is during wartime. But nobody knows right now what caused the crash. It's just that there was no survivors. It says footage sourced from the Fars news agency and the Red Cross showed what appeared to be the helicopter crash site, including the vehicle's tail in a woodland area. It says following the news, social media was awash with theories. See, everybody is like, some of these theories, I guess, it says following the news of social media was awash with theories about Israel's involvement, but no credible evidence beyond the current tensions between the two nations. So I guess we don't know what caused it, but he's dead. His aircraft went down. Now, this is going to stoke tensions. Things like this, just even if it's an accident, stoke tensions. Now, what about AI? Guys, well, you know what I personally believe? Using our own intelligence and our own ingenuity and people out there, we've developed a technological base at a certain speed. Our development at a certain speed. Well, I've talked about AI a lot, and I've said that the only real difference because we're capable of consciousness and sentient thought. We're in a way, each and every one of us is like an artificial intelligence, except the only real difference is the speed. The speed of function, of cognitive function. AI is like 100,000 times faster than us. You know, but as far as thinking things over, when we get when we get the not the AI we have now, but artificial general intelligence, which is AGI, which is one step further, it's the speed it runs at. So 100,000, I figure it's 100,000 times, it might be more. So think about this for a minute. When AI spreads through the world and everything starts to run off of artificial general intelligence instead of us thinking for ourselves, it'll start doing the inventions of new scientific things. But possibly 100,000 times faster. So it means that we could actually have an explosion in technology. I'm talking about an actual explosion of technology within the next 5 years. Probably looking out 5 years from now. Because if that's true, it means that in 1 year, AI can do all of the inventions that we would invent in 100,000 years. In 1 year. What does that mean? It means 5 or 6 years from now, you could see the end of cancer. 5 or 6 years from now, you could see things like head transplants on people. You could see artificial limbs that are better than your real limbs that you have. And that's just in medicine alone. We could see free energy. We could see quantum teleportation. So you don't even have to fly someplace. You just step in a teleporter and you step out and you're there, 5,000 miles away. You want to travel to China? Bing, bing, you're in China. 2 seconds. We could see inventions like that. Even time travel. All come within a matter of just a year or two. Like I say, we could move 100,000 years into what? Our slow progression into technology. We could see an explosion of technology with this. But reading this article here, it says, fearing AI will take over. The godfather of all AI advises the UK government to start UBI, or Universal Basic Income. It says, Geoffrey Hinton, a world-renowned artificial intelligence AI expert, often referred to as the godfather of AI, recently consulted with members of the United Kingdom government at Downing Street. That's big! Where he advised these lawmakers to consider adopting Universal Basic Income, UBI, to address the impending threat of job losses. So, yeah, we're going to have jobs. I mean, we're going to have to rearrange our whole scheme of things. If we get this explosion of technology, if you can imagine, farm workers probably will just have robots out in the field harvesting the fruit. Just the list goes on and on and on. What could actually happen from all this? But what are we going to do? What are the farm workers going to do? Used to pick the crops. What are the people going to do who now don't have a job? Maybe in a supermarket. Maybe maybe there's a robot going around the aisles. That's the person that works in the supermarket and don't need us anymore. Well, their answer is universal basic income. So in other words, you just stay home and you catch a check every month from the government. Actually, it wouldn't be that way at all. They'd probably give you a little card, like your credit card, that would be good anywhere, and they just load it up for you every month. You know, and probably nearly as much as you'd make working a low-income job. The world is changing, guys, and it's changing really fast, you know. Now, taking a look at this, the Russians and Chinese, you look at this picture of Xi Jinping and Putin shaking hands together. The Russians and Chinese are shifting the tectonic plates of world politics, and this is absolutely true. And they are shifting the world monetary plates of the money. This is why there's so much tension right now. So everything's got to do with the money. Money, money, money. The dollar has a world reserve currency status. It's being threatened on a big, huge level by something that's going to come along, and it's got to do with gold. I can tell you guys that. It's going to come along soon, too. Because China and Russia have not been stockpiling gold for the fun of it. And for years there, this plan is a long-term plan, too, because we know for years on my show I've been talking about how they've been shipping those 1 kilogram gold bars to China. They've been going from west to east. Years ago I was talking about that. And China's gold reserve is probably much larger than it is on paper. What's the plan? And how does it involve gold? And how does it involve taking down the United States dollar as a world reserve currency? And if they're successful at doing that, how's it going to affect your life living over here in the West when the dollar is no longer the world reserve currency? Man, I'm going to tell you, it's about time you guys, I've been telling you a long time, stock up on your precious metals. And it's still, even now, it's underpriced. Even right now. I won't consider myself, until it gets like over $40 or $50, until it gets up over those prices, I'm not considering it that it's starting to get kind of pricey. You know? As long as it's not like under $50, considering what you can purchase right now with your dollars, and what you could purchase 10 years ago with your dollars, that $30 price tag on silver is equal to about a $20 or less than 20, probably $15, what you could purchase just 5 years ago with those dollars. It's like $15 silver, because a dollar ain't purchasing half of what it did 5 years ago. They've lost. They've listen. I know they say it's only like 2% or whatever. I laugh at that. I go to the store and I see prices doubling about every 2 years right now on things. And I laugh at 2% a year, because 2% a year in 2 years, or even 3% a year, is only about 5 or 6% in 2 years. No, things are going up. Things are doubling in price every 2 years practically right now. It's way higher than that. Now, this is big news today. The International Criminal Court prosecutor seeks an arrest warrant for Israel and the Hamas leaders, including President of Israel, Netanyahu. That's big news. That is big news. It says in Jerusalem, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court said Monday he is seeking arrest warrants for leaders of Israel and of Hamas, including Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, over actions taken during their 7-month war. Boy, that's big. But the United Nations and the International Criminal Court and stuff like that, they don't have full-out authority, as far as they don't have a tremendous amount of clout in going and getting him arrested and stuff, or going and getting the people that they, I don't know how to word that, but anyway, now here, guys, this is incredible, because we saw the silver price. We had a $2 day, guys, a $2 day. No, okay, I know it wasn't a $3 day. It was not a $3 day, but it was a $2 day. It's getting close to what I said was coming. You guys got to give me credit. You know, I mean, we had a $2 day. And, you know, I mean, how many of you guys that are buying silver before we had this $2 day would just go, $3 day, that'll never happen. Now we had a $2 day. Now you can see the possibility of us having $3 days. Okay, so my forecast was pretty good. And for you holders of silver, congratulations. And what's even more amazing is that after a $2 day on Monday here, we didn't see a price drop and lose that $2 and have it just fall away, because that's what it used to do. And it shows you how bullish it's becoming, because it's up 14 cents today. I still think that price is cheap. I won't be thinking so. Once we pass the Rubicon of $50, then I won't be sitting here saying, "Oh, it's so cheap." Won't be so cheap anymore. It'll have caught up with inflation a little bit more. And that's all it's doing right now, is silver and gold always keep up with inflation. And so if you don't want inflation to tear you to pieces, with the dollar losing half of its purchasing power every year, which is what's coming, well, if you're in silver, it'll keep up with that inflation. So you can sit back and you don't have to worry about the inflation, because silver's going to keep up with it. There's a bit of a delay in gold and silver in keeping up with inflation this time. There was a bit of a delay, and what caused the delay was riggers were spoofing the price on gold and silver. And they were artificially keeping the price suppressed. And I think they're starting to lose their battle now. I think it's starting to head toward it wanting to find its own price of where it should be. And so we could see... I'll tell you guys another thing, too, is when silver does cross $50 and goes up, I don't think it's going to be like it did other times when it like shot up to $45 and then the price just got crushed and it only stayed there for like a day or whatever. That didn't stay there very long. I don't think it's going to be like that this time. I think this time when she goes up past $50, I don't think you're ever going to see $15 silver again after that. Gold price today, 24.17. Oh, I got something to say, guys. Listen. We now have memberships to the channel. It's $4.99 Canadian. Was what the membership. I tried to set the US price and it didn't seem to function quite properly, but I could set it in Canadian. I set it for $4.99, which is $4.99 is not $4.99 American dollars. It's about $3 and something. It's a little bit over $3. It's $3 and $4.99 Canadian. It's like $3 and I don't know, $3.75 or something like that. So it's a little bit more than $3 American. You know? And that's the price basically of a hamburger or a cup of coffee. You know, a cheap hamburger. Now, a good hamburger now would cost you $10. So, that's for a month. And I've already produced my first weekend film. And I'm going to be producing one every weekend. And unless I'm sick or something, you know. Or I have to do something. I'll go out of town or something. But most weekends I intend on having something produced. And I like to make them a little bit longer than my show, but or at least the length of my show. You know, but some of them are going to extend out as long as an hour. But I'm going to try to fall into around that 20 to 30 minute range, something like that, on the weekend shows, you know. And so it's going to be very interesting because it's more of a behind the scenes look rather than here in the studio doing the show. You know, you guys are used to me in the studio. You're going to see what's happening behind the scenes. And well, a big thank you to all my viewers out there. Thank you for supporting the channel, and this is a great way to support the channel, really. A real fundamental great way to support the channel. Because in order to keep this channel up and running, I got to get some support. Ad revenue has fell off so low, it's unbelievably low. It's about 25%, for my channel anyways, probably 25% of what it was at my channel's peak. Back before COVID. And that's a big hit. That's a 75% chop of my income of revenue. That's awful. But anyway, you guys can help by supporting the channel by now the new membership thing. And that's why I had to do this membership thing. But I'm going to enjoy it too. I'm going to enjoy getting out there on the weekends and doing a show for you guys. So I see it as a win-win. So let's move on. It's a button right on the bottom of your video here, and it says join or whatever, or channel or whatever. It's a little button there on the bottom. Just hunt for it down below the video. You should see it there. Now Bitcoin today is 66,882. So Bitcoin's holding strong too. That's better than 62,000, which we had a few days ago. It was starting to creep back up to its high there of what it was at 72,000 and change. Ethereum is 3,087, and XRP is 51.2 cents, the 50-cent coin. 50 cent. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 42 points today. Look at that. We've cracked 40,000. 40,062 today. So the Dow is at a really all-time high right now. Taking a look at crude oil is at 80.42. So crude oil has cracked $80. So the Dow's cracked 40,000. Crude oil has cracked $80. Now, looking at our bonds and rates today, we got climbing yields today. The U.S. 10-years climbed 2.5 basis points to 4.44, and the U.S. 30-year has climbed 2.5 basis points to 4.58. And finishing off with the U.S. dollar index at 104.53. Okay, talking about the memberships just for one more time before I quit the show. Then done and then end the show. There's 3 different categories of memberships. The first category has got almost everything. You can watch my weekend videos and everything. I put it that way. And the one that's only $3 and something American. I think it's like, maybe, I don't know to the penny what it is, maybe $3.75 or something like that. I'm just guessing. But it's $4.99 Canadian. And Canadian dollar's not worth as much as American. So there's that membership, and it gives you almost everything. Now, if you want to donate more, you can pick one of the higher categories. If you want to be a higher donating member of the channel, you can pick one of the higher categories, but they don't give you an awful lot more features than the first one, the cheapest one. You know, they don't give you much more, maybe a little bit more, but not much, considering. But it's a help to me if you guys pick those higher categories. It is a help. Everything's a help to this channel right now at this point with ad revenue so low. So thank you guys for your patronage of my channel. I really appreciate it. And remember, like and subscribe. And you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.